Another thing is Social Security was never intended to replace an income. It's
That's
only
true.
meant to supplement because I hear so many people stating that they're going to retire at 65, 67, based upon what? Social Security.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Retire and Thrive show. It's your girl, Chauntelle, and we are back with another great topic. Today, we are going to be talking about our financial roadmap. I know, wait a minute, don't get all tight on me. We have to talk about this stuff. Today, we're going to be talking about trending topics for retirement. Listen, one of the most important things that we have to look at is our financial health. With this economy, this is really gonna be a blessing to many of us. Today, we are gonna dive deep into some of the most pressing financial questions and trending retirement topics for seniors today. If you're looking to make the most of your retirement and your financial health, you won't want to miss this. We've got a special guest with us today. She is a financial retirement specialist. Her name is Kimberly Williams, and she's going to give us insights on everything from Social Security to inflation proofing your savings. So, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you will know whenever we upload a new video. And thank you so much for joining us as we talk about all things retirement and what? Thriving. So, Kimberly is the seasoned financial specialist with years of experience in helping seniors plan and navigate their finances in retirement. Kimberly, I want to thank you for being here and sharing your expertise about this field. And I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Wow, wow. It is such an honor to be here with you all today. My name is Kimberly Williams. I do reside in Houston, Texas. I've been in financial services the last 8 years. I'm a registered nurse of 19 years. So I understand what you said, right? Because health and wealth goes hand in hand, right? So we're going to retire and thrive. I'm very passionate about educating my community on free financial education, literacy. I do seminars and workshops, and one of my big topics that I always talk about is retirement, right? Because a lot of people just don't understand how to retire with dignity, what they need to do. And of course, we don't want to fail, right? We just fail to plan, right? I always say
Right.
we don't want to plan to fail, but we just fail to plan.
Yeah.
And retirement planning is so important. And it's important to talk about that long before we're getting to that mark. So I'm so honored to be here with you today. I hope something I share with you piques your interest and sit down with you and sit down with talk about retirement. What are your goals? What are some things you want to accomplish? Understanding what would that do with my social security and so forth. So I'm just so honored to be here. So I am an open book, so you can come on, and thank you for having me on your amazing show.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Kim, we've got a lot of questions, and I know you are a busy woman, so we're going to jump right in. Let's start with a common issue: financial mistakes. What are some of the top financial mistakes you see retirees making, and how can we avoid them?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I've seen is procrastination, right? And also is being just illiterate on certain things. Like I said, growing up, I didn't have money talks at the table. So it's very important to plan for retirement long before you're getting ready to retire. Like when they sit down and said, I want to talk to you, I'll talk to you when it's retirement. I say it's too late. We should be talking about retirement planning because we have to make sure we have enough, right? Because one of the biggest crises I see that most people retire and they outlive their money.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So the most important step is to sit down and have a one-on-one consultation, do a financial needs analysis. So let's identify what are your goals? What does retirement look like for you? Do you understand how much you need to have that you will not outlive? Understanding where you're saving, how does that impact Social Security? taxes, and so forth? And how can you generate a lifetime income that you cannot outlive? Those are some of the main questions, main things that you want to definitely consider. And of course, as we get older, our health is at jeopardy. So what does that look like? Like I said, I'm a registered nurse, so I talk about on both aspects. And those are some of the topics that you definitely want to understand more of and definitely sit down and meet with someone to ask those questions.
Kimberly, this is another thing that I find that a lot of retirees fail to even think about. We have these savings and our pensions, and some people don't have both. They may just have one, a savings without a pension. But even if you have both, overspending because we are so used to having a check come in consistently, and now you're living off of this lump. And when you really start thinking about, you may have saved up two, three, $400,000. That's really not a lot of money. And I know it sounds like a
Absolutely
lot
not.
right now, but it's really not a lot of money because, to be honest with you, I believe that I undersaved. And now I'm looking at how to better use the monies that I have still saved up, but realizing that for the average person, I would say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for the average person, if your salary was, let's just say the average salary in America is around 69,000, if I'm not mistaken. So if you think about it, you barely make it at 69,000. So if you only have three, four, $500,000 saved up and you don't know about investing or trying to make that money multiply, you're going to go through that money pretty quickly because you're going to need a new car here or there. You're going to need maybe something goes out at home and you're not thinking about, oh, I have to go buy another refrigerator. Well, refrigerators aren't $200 anymore. They're thousands of dollars. So we have a tendency to
Yes,
overspend.
absolutely.
So can you talk about
Yes.
how to really rethink about how you're looking at retirement and the amount of money that you may need? And we want to talk about overspending, and we really well, this next one we're going to get to a little bit later, but health costs. Let's just talk about health costs briefly because it's really important to that was such a sticker shock to me when I heard how much my insurance was going to be. It's crazy. So I'm gonna let you have it.
Wow. When I tell you, I hope my internet is not too unstable because I see
No,
it's
it's
at
fine.
unstable. But when I tell you everything that you're stating is exactly what we see all the time. When I speak to someone, I always said, guess what? Broke is temporary. Poverty is a mindset. And that's what we're out tackling, understanding that the more money we make, it shouldn't be the more we spend, right? It should be the more that we actually save and accrue to make it work for us. Another thing, understanding that retirement was not meant to be a bailout for families. It's not meant to buy certain things and go on vacation. It's actually what you need to retire. And you said a great point because you are absolutely correct. When I talk to retirement, you should have 20 times your income to retire. That's the number because you have to realize that when you said 200, 300,000, that's why most people outlive their money. If you're making an average of 70,000 and all you have is what, 250, that means you only have 3 years of savings, right? And if you don't
Right.
reduce your spending habits or you don't spend down, one of the things I talk about is an X curve concept. And it's a curve of responsibility, understanding how we should be decreasing our responsibilities, our debt, our liabilities, because we know when we get older, we shouldn't be having to worry about that. But just like you said, what it is, we pay off the car. What do? We go get another one, right? And it's very detrimental because now you have these high expenses
Mhm.
and you're getting ready to retire or you go buy a house. You're looking at a 30-year responsibility.
Mhm.
At this moment, we should be decreasing our responsibilities while we're building up for our wealth. And I talk about that a lot. It's a lot of financial concepts that you're talking about where I show people how to structure your financial house. Now, if you can allow me to share my screen, hold on, let me pull it
Yes.
up because you are barking right up the right tree. And
Okay.
I love it. Okay. I just
Yes.
love it. Uh, awesome. 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 Let's see here. I'm going to pull up, let's see here. Gonna try to share my screen, but I have to just pull up that slide because you
It won't
mentioned
show.
something very important. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I pull it up. Let's see here. Uh, and I just had it up, so that's something, but I'll find it.
No problem.
It's all good. But you're absolutely correct
So
with
while you're
everything that
looking
you
for it, can
stated.
you speak on, because this goes right hand in hand with that, inflation?
Yes.
It's
Oh,
on
yes.
everyone's mind, and it's a real concern for retirees who are living on fixed incomes. So, what advice could you have for seniors to help protect their savings from inflation?
Absolutely. So when I talk about inflation, and that's a great thing that you talked on. One thing that I like to discuss, if I can find it, is something called the wealth formula. A
Okay.
lot of people just want to know, like, okay, what is a wealth formula? How do you know? Is they think it's something a quick fix, but the wealth formula is this: money plus time plus a positive rate of return minus taxes minus inflation. And it's for those that don't know what inflation is, it's basically the increase of cost of goods over time where it shrinks the buying power. So let me just make an example. When you go to the gas station, I remember, I'm not sure, I'm only 44, but I remember when I first started driving, gas was 89.99 cents, right? I don't know you recall those days, right?
Yeah,
But now when you go to the gas station, how much are you paying? That's
three
inflation.
49 for
Absolutely, right?
that super
Another thing,
premium.
absolutely. So one thing that we need to do to make sure that we safeguard our savings is making sure that we have a vehicle that's keeping up with the cost of inflation. Because if you're not earning at least 5%, you're not keeping up with inflation and taxes. And the wealth formula is that money plus time plus a positive rate of return minus inflation minus taxes.
Okay, I want you to repeat that one more time because there may be somebody that's trying to write that down. And sometimes, as we get older, it takes us a little bit longer to write out everything. So say it again, but say it just a little
Absolutely.
slower.
Absolutely. The wealth formula is this: it takes two major components, money plus time. And let me reiterate, the more time you have to save, the more money that you can grow. The less time you have to save, now you have to be a little more aggressive with savings because you don't have the time. Plus or minus the rate of return, because the rate of return can be positive or it can be negative depending on where you're growing your money. And that's something very important that you need to understand and know. First of all, what vehicle am I saving for retirement? What fixed option, option is it in? And is it actually growing or am I at risk of losing it?
Let
That's
me,
something very big.
I'm
Yes, come
sorry.
on.
Let
Oh,
me
come
ask you a
on.
question because, with most of us, we've already retired. So, can you give an idea? Are you talking maybe with a brokerage company, or are you talking, give people an idea of different ways that they can cause their money to grow?
Okay. One of the most important ways that most retirees are utilizing is something called an annuity. An annuity is a vehicle that guarantees you an income for life. So versus what you have in a 401k or a retirement plan that depletes over time, versus somewhere where you can have a guaranteed income that you can never outlive.
That's so smart. So when people are getting ready to retire and you're looking at your pension, what I
Yeah,
should have done was taken the annuity. What I did was took the lump. And now when I
that's
look back, I was like, darn it, I should have taken the annuity.
absolutely. And that's one of the biggest mistakes because a lump sum After you pay the taxes on it, it's going to deplete.
Hmm.
But that's what we look at. We look at the lump sum amount, which unfortunately it gets away from us, right? And now we're looking at ways that we can say, okay, what could I've done better? So I do talk to people that retire because let's talk about retirement. One thing I like to say, retirement is a three-legged stool. Okay,
That's
right there,
good.
three-legged stool.
Retirement is a three-legged
Three-legged
stool.
Another thing is Social Security was never intended to replace an income. It's
That's
only
true.
meant to supplement because I hear so many people stating that they're going to retire at 65, 67, based upon what? Social Security.
And do you know, I know this sounds funny, and I'm seriously, I really didn't know. I thought that Social Security, everybody got at least, at the very least, $1,500. I am hearing people say that their Social Security 900, 5. I said, what the world? How is anybody supposed to function?
Or live off of that, right? How can
Yes.
anybody live off of that type of income that's only that amount? It's almost impossible.